What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new Starcraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning here in the top right hand corner of 16-bit LE, playing with the blue Terran pieces. We have a player who goes by the name of uThermal. And his opponent spawning in the cross position, playing with the red Zerg pieces. We have a player who's very well known in the StarCraft 2 Pro scene for using the Zerg pieces. His name is Snute. So guys, Snute and uThermal, I'm super excited to go ahead and cast this game for all of you here today. This matchup between these two players was played at the WCS in Valencia. And I've actually never casted a game of Snute's yet. And he's a very well-known Zerg player, but I just have not had the chance to cast a game of his quite yet. So I'm really excited to go ahead and cast my very first game of Snute. And he's a very well-known StarCraft 2 player with the Zerg pieces. Has been winning tournaments for absolutely years. And uThermal is a force to be reckoned with the Terran pieces. This guy, gotta say, guys, he's actually done such a great job playing with the Terran pieces, and he's hasn't won any tournaments as of late, but he might get overshadowed by guys like Innovation and beyond. But he's still a great StarCraft 2 pro gamer. That being said, everyone, let's get into what our two players are doing at this point in the game. It looks like uThermal is going to go ahead and get his barracks into the refinery, and then he's probably going to go ahead, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's getting a command center, whereas on the opposite side, we have a hatch gas pool coming out of Snute. And so it looks like pretty standard on both sides of the map so far, I gotta say. So we'll have to see what these players do, you know, to maybe try to play a little bit of some mind games against one another here. There is going to be, of course, a Reaper that is now going to be making its way across the map here. And this was played, guys, like I said, at the WCS in Valencia, but this is round one of the bracket, so the bracket play, and it looks like one of these Reapers is going to come across the map here and is going to try to start nibbling away at some of these workers here. Want to be really careful that you don't lose any of those workers, and it looks like Snute, his micro is on point, and he is going to make sure that he does not lose any of his workers or too many of his army either. So that being said, everybody, looks like a standard game is what we're going to be having here very soon. It looks like that Reaper is making his way around the main base. One thing to keep in mind is that all three of those drones were pulled out of the extractor here. So it means that Snute is going to try to get an economic lead here relatively quickly, or it's just he's going to try to get a lot more minerals. So I'm wondering if that's a key that he may be going for a little bit of some aggression here shortly. We'll have to keep an eye on that. On the opposite side, it does look like uThermal moved the factory onto the reactor, and it looks like there is going to be a starport that's probably going to be flown onto the tech lab. So I'm wondering if we're going to see cloaking field upgrade coming up here shortly. More and more of these Hellions are being produced out of the factory, so should be interesting. And it looks like, guys, that actually out of the starport is going to be it looks like he's going for a little bit of a different build here than what I was expecting uThermal to be going for. I was thinking that he was going to be going for Banshees, but it looks like he's going to get a Raven out of this starport. So I like that decision, though. I really do. I like that decision quite a bit. Looks like there's going to be a little bit of a timing push here of a few of these Hellions. Probably not here to do significant amounts of damage, just to do a little bit of some harassment, see if he can get in there. And it looks like he's going to be shoot away almost immediately. Going to see if that third base is up, and that is, or I should say the fourth base, and that is not the case. Looks like Snute did go ahead and take that third or in-base expansion here. Lots of queens out, 4 queens out on the map here so far. More and more are going to be coming up here very shortly. Lair is going to be coming up here for our Zerg player as well. And it looks like Stimpack is going to be researched right now, and it looks like another command center. It looks like uThermal's feeling pretty good about himself right now. He is going to go ahead and get that third command center up and running, or built at least. And Snoot's getting a very critical scout here. He's going to see exactly what's going on here. Factory, a couple more barracks are going to be going down as well. So this is very key for our Zerg player to scout out. The Raven did get into this third base, and looks like it is I mean, of course, guys, these mini turrets can do significant amounts of damage here. And now we got more and more of these Hellions trying to get into that natural expansion, and is not going to be successful, at least at this point in the game. +1/+1 is going to be coming up here for our Zerg player, so he wants to get his ground-based units, as many of the upgrades as possible. Another Raven is going to be coming onto this side of the map here, and it looks like the Queens are going to be there to shoo away at that Raven. Very well done. So yeah, there's a couple Ravens out on the map here, and it's not doing a whole lot of damage, at least at this point. But we're going to have to kind of keep an eye on those Ravens, because they can do significant amounts of damage. Looks like there's going to be a macro hatchery going down in near the main base location for Snute. But interestingly enough, guys, +1/+1 going to be coming up here for our Terran player, and then more and more barracks are being added on here. This is very interesting play here. That third base is now being mined at this point in the game, and I don't know, guys. Armory's going to be coming up here for uThermal as well. I like the position, really, of uThermal right now, just because there's not much army right now for Snute. He's trying to just kind of play defense until a specific point in the game, it seems. The roly-poly upgrade is going to be coming up for these Banelings, but I feel like if there was a timing push right now for uThermal, I don't know if Snute would be able to hold on. It would at least be able to force him to make a ton of units like Zerglings and Banelings, but it looks like there is a timing push coming now. So just as I'm saying that, it seems like uThermal is starting to move out. It's like he's reading my mind or something here. So it looks like he's going to be moving across the map here, and I like the decision a lot here to be moving out. It just seems, though, now more and more Zerglings are out, and they're, they are, turning into Banelings here. So this is going to be a decent push here. There is going to be a Raven. There's going to be Hellbats that are going to be out, as well as Marines and even a Siege Tank. So you're going to have to be very, very careful here, going very deep onto Creep here. And it looks like those Queens are going to try to get some connections, get all the diffuses. And the Banelings have absolutely decimated this army. A little bit too far onto Creep here. And just like that, I think Snute is going to start moving. He's going to move across to the other side of the map, it looks like. This Siege Tank is probably going to stay where it is, but a lot of these Zerglings are trying to move across the map here. I wonder if he actually wants to take this engagement. Probably not the best decision there, but Snute now knows that he's in a little bit of a lead here. uThermal went a little bit too far onto Creep. +2/+2 is going to be coming up here for Snute at this point as well. He's just getting a lot of his upgrades. He's also getting a lot of Banelings and Zerglings. He's really, his unit composition is Banelings and Zerglings. Very interesting. He's got Mutas out now as well, so that's going to help out of course, with this this specific composition here as well. With the Siege Tanks, of course, being out. And it looks like this caught uThermal maybe a little bit off guard. He's going to get one of those Siege Tanks for his troubles. And it looks like those Marines are going to shoo away at some of these units. And it looks like he's going to have to back off a little bit. And it looks like uThermal's starting to get pretty ballsy here. He's going to get a couple of Queens for his troubles, at least. Going to maybe try to get a little bit of these Creep Tumors set back. Very well played there, actually, by uThermal. And he got himself right back into this game here. So I really like the decision making that uThermal is doing, at least at this stage in the game. He's a little bit supply block, kind of uncharacteristic here, but it does look like there is going to be Thors that are going to be coming out of the Terran player here very shortly. But this is a pretty scary army here, man. Looks like there is going to be some draw play here with some Marines. Probably going to try to start pushing across onto the opposite side of the map, trying to, maybe catch the Zerg player a little bit off guard here. There's not much detection here, at least at this point. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this on this medevac here, who's going to try as best he can to get across the map. And these Mutalisks are trying to do a little bit of some harassment, but does not look like it's really necessarily working out, at least at this point. And these Mutas are getting hit pretty hard right now by all these Marines. Now, it does look like this medevac did get shooed away there for a second, and I wonder if this is really going to trigger. It looks like it's probably just going to be the Terran player trying to get a few of these kills on these creep tumors. And it looks like there's going to be a drop down, but these Mutas are going to have free range at this point of that medevac. And oh my god, here's a big push here. These Banelings are going to Bane bust into the main base location of our Terran player. And just like that, the floodgates are open. But I do wonder what's going to happen here when the Terran player is across on the opposite side of the map with Thors and a bunch of siege tanks as well as liberators, and of course you add those Marines in the mix. I'm liking this position currently of uThermal. He's on the opposite side of the map. He's going to start really chipping away at this 4th base location. 2 more bases are going down right now for Snute. I gotta say I like the current trades here, but there is a massive force here coming from uThermal side of the map. This is a menacing force here, guys, of a lot of units that are coming out of uThermal. Now, Snute is trying to get as big of an army as he possibly can. This is a massive army for Snute as well. A few really good Baneling hits, and that is going to take out this army completely. And it looks like smartly Snute has decided to back off, at least at this point. But there is, I mean, the ground-based units of Snute right now. I mean, he's got Zerglings, Banelings going for +2 upgrades, getting that lair currently, and then +3 upgrades are coming up here for our Terran player. It looks like this is going to be a huge engagement right here. Looks like Snute has decided to back off, at least at this point, and it looks like uThermal is going to start moving out here, because the longer this game goes, I'm going to like the position a lot of where Snute is at, simply because he's going to get the flyer attacks level 2 up. On top of that, he may very well be getting Broodlords here very soon. The Corruptors are already out onto the field of play. More and more Zerglings are coming up, as well as Banelings. This is just a massive force of Marines, as well as, of course, the Thors, medevacs, and, of course, the siege tanks. These siege tanks, you know, I'm wondering if there's going to be a slow push here from our Terran player. And, I mean, my god, the Banelings are coming in, but those Liberators are going to shoo away at all of these units right here and right now. And the Banelings are basically being sacrificed to the swarm, at least at this point. I am wondering, and I'm a little bit curious as to what Snute is planning on doing here. He's got almost a maxed out force, and this army is getting completely caught off guard here. And it looks like Snute has planned on just going for the surround here. I don't know if it's actually working at this point. Maybe somewhat. But at this point, it's hard to tell who's actually taking a lead here. Both players are really trading blows with one another. My god, guys, what an intense first game of this series between these two players. But I gotta say, I still like the position currently of our Terran player. Even though he's a little bit behind in supply, at least at this point, I still am liking his. I'm liking the spot he's in right now. Snute, though, is certainly not out of this game just yet, especially if Broodlords start being created here. He's going to be in a really good position. +3, +3, and +3 are going to be coming up here for Snute, and then the same can be said for our Terran players. So, I mean, these guys are about to have maxed out upgrades in their respective races, and it does seem like there's going to be some Ultralisks coming out onto the field here for Snute. I like that decision a lot, too, seeing as how there's so many ground-based units here for the Terran player. So this is going to be really tricky. This is going to be super tricky to see what happens. More and more of these queens are coming out here, and I like that decision here by our Zerg player. The diffusers are coming in, and these Marines are basically being sacrificed But it does look like he's going to try to slow push, and that is uThermal going to try to slow push onto Creep here. But these Banelings, oh my god, the Banelings are there to almost take out this this Thor here. I would really move that Thor back. But it looks like uThermal is really in a good position here. He is starting to just slow push onto Creep here. And I wonder at this point, what is the plan here for Snute? Is there some sort of plan that he's got that's going to really, you know, help him with this slow push of the Terran player? It's interesting because more and more force is coming out here for our Terran player, and he's slow pushing his opponent here very slowly with those Liberator zones, and it looks like Snute has given up on this base, and so now Snute has to decide what he's going to do. He's creating another base down here near the bottom right. He's also kind of thinking, well, it looks like he was spreading creep up here, but it doesn't look like he's actually going to go ahead and do that. I'm wondering if he's going to start doing some run buys with some of these units. Would be quite interesting to see if he decided to do that. And it looks like he's going to do that. He's going to do that, and the Liberators are coming out here, but there's a lot of Liberators here. My God, there is a lot of Liberators, guys. The Liberators are coming out, and that is going to really shoo away a lot of this ground-based army composition here of Snute. And he is maxed out, and uThermal is almost maxed out. They both must have maxed out when it comes to the upgrades. Very interesting decision making here, and the Banelings are burrowing. Oh my God, they are going to try to get some easy kills here on some of these, of course, SCVs as they come out here. The harassment is just on point here by both of these players. And I'm wondering, the longer this game goes, Snute has his half of the field that is completely covered. And it looks like those SCVs are going to get to these, this command center before it burns to death. Another command center is going to be coming up here for uThermal. My God, dude, the swarm is getting bigger and more menacing as we go. 200 supply and almost 200 supply for uThermal. Whew, what a fight, man. What an engagement here. And it looks like, once again, Snute just keeps on getting caught off guard with his army, and uThermal has just been in great positions, at least at this point. And it looks like there is going to be a massive engagement over here at what is, I believe, the 4th base location. And it looks like a lot of these units are going to be under a lot of pressure, but those liberation zones are going to do so much damage to a lot of these units. And of course, that this base ends up living, the planetary fortress that is, does end up living a little bit longer, but my God, man, they are trading blows with one another, catching Snute off guard multiple times in this portion of the game. Looks like the drop play, which I'm surprised uThermal hasn't been doing as much drop play at this point in the game. It all comes down to the engagement. It looks like these Snute knows where the army is. The question is, though, is he going to be in position? These Liberators are just providing so much value here for the Terran player. But just as I'm saying that, it looks like this army is going to get absolutely surrounded here by the Zerg player. And these Corruptors, there is no counter to these Corruptors. These Corruptors are just going to try to take out as many of these Liberators as possible and move the rest of the army in. And just like that, Snute has now taken a significant lead at this point in the game by taking out all those Liberators. Absolutely brilliant play here by Snute, really turning the tides of battle here. It looks like all these units are going to try to come down and start decimating this planet, or this command center here for our Terran player. My God, dude. What an intense matchup between these two players. The defense, the offense has been absolutely on point by both players. And it looks like the supply, though, of our Terran player has plummeted quite a bit in this portion of the game. Those more Liberator harassments, but I don't know, man. These this Zerg player is taking a substantial lead at this point in the game, and it looks like he wants to close this game out right here and right now. The Liberation Zones are going to be coming up here. Snute does not want to overextend, at least at this point. And my God, guys, I think Snute has just barely done it, man. I mean, really, they have, absolutely getting the kill on that filled up medevac. And I don't know how much longer these guys can really, how long uThermal can really hold on here. He's got the Liberation Zones on point, but these Corruptors are just giving so much value to the Zerg player. Now, this base is under a lot of pressure, but you gotta be careful, because here comes Snute. He wants to surround this army with all of these Ultralisk, and they are doing exactly that. Just absolutely devastation on this portion of the game. These Ultralisk, as well as the Corruptor switch, GG is called, and Snute takes a Game 1 victory in a very exciting match of ZvT. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Snute and uThermal, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.